Welcome. I am putting together the Hatching Time Quail Brooder. This is the 2-layer brooder that I ordered. I think it was like $300. I got it on sale, so it wasn't full price. I am going to be putting that together. I've already put several of the pieces together. I actually did it on a TikTok live, which turned out kind of disastrous, but quite fun because it took me forever to figure out the best way to get these together. So I'm saving this video on YouTube, wherever you guys see this at. This will be the real video that goes out there because I learned a lot during that live. So this is your top piece. This is the bottom because it has that fun little lip that holds the feeder tray that comes with it. Your door, which I really like these doors better than the doors that I got on the chicken brooder I have. And then this is the back panel. So the instructions make it look like you can just push these together. Not happening. Like, I don't have arthritis, I've got pretty strong fingers, and that was not happening. That's why the struggle was for real when I did this on to the TikTok live. But I want to thank everybody that hung out with me because it was a lot of fun. So you've got your arrows. This is the back and the front, and then your arrows, let's see, where'd they go? So your arrows on this one. So your arrows are always going to go up. Like I said, the instructions make it look like you can squeeze these together, and that has not been the case. I've actually had to hammer them on there because they're not always easy. And I lost my hammer. Oh, there's my hammer. Like I said, I don't remember the chicken brooder being this hard to get them to snap together, and the instructions make it look like you should be able to just do that, but I have not. Ouch, pinch my finger. See, and then you pinch your finger. Total fun. So this is the top and the back. And now we're going to put on the door. So these pieces here are the bottom of your door. They're going to slide into the bottom shelf there. And so like that, I've been just hammering them. Okay, just like that. So that is the top part. And then this is going to be the bottom. The bottom piece actually snaps on super easy. I have not had to hammer one of them yet. I don't know what the difference is, but those snap together super simple. So just like that. And then like I said, this is the front, and there's two little pieces. Whoops, I don't know if you can see that. Right there. And it just slides in there. And then I just give it a little gentle tap, and that secures it to the bottom shelf there. There you go. And like I said, once you figure out that those don't just snap together and you have to kind of hammer them, it goes together much simpler. So this is going to be the center one, so I'm not going to put a door here. We're going to build the other one, and then we'll show you guys snapping it all together. So like I said, so the back again. My top. Check your arrows. Check your arrows. And sometimes it's easiest if you try to start that second one and then just tap it in there, because then everything else just kind of lines up and you can just give it a gentle tap. Sometimes you do have to be a little more aggressive, but a gentle tap. Like I said, and a lot of people won't spend the money on these. I like their products. I like doing these videos, so I did purchase these. I am affiliated with them, but I purchased these, and if you guys buy something off of the link that I'll drop in the comments, you know, I do earn a little bit of commission from them. But I did start buying these before I was ever given anything by the company. And then I'm gonna put my door on. Like I said, sometimes it's easier than others. This that is frustrating me. So imagine me doing this on a TikTok live and it got this frustrating. Like, it was a wild learning curve. That's definitely for sure. And it doesn't always work even with the learning curve. Just like that. And I build stuff all the time. Like, I've got a dollhouse in the corner back there that I'm building. So building stuff isn't something I am not familiar with. But this stuff is super frustrating. And I don't know if the molds just didn't get cut right. I don't know. But I might give up and try that other door. Because really, this shouldn't be this complicated. Okay. See what I tell you? And there's no good way to hold it. Like, once you get one side on, it's super complicated. So I'm going to try to use it and push it against the wall there. And like I said, I don't know if it's a design problem or a release problem with the mold. Or if it's because it's hard to get them to stay standing straight up. Like, I don't know. Oh, finally, I got that one. Once you get one on there, the rest go on easier. Sometimes. Oh my gosh, talk about difficult. So, like I said, there we go. So, and then the bottoms always snap on super simple. We'll see if that continues or if I just jinxed myself. You would think they would all snap on that easy because every bottom has snapped on that easy. It's the tough ones that are just absolutely brutal. Again, then you just line up the two anchors onto the little tab there. Maybe. Ugh. Apparently my skill today is lacking. And there we go. Let's make sure I'm doing this right. So because one of them is going to have a solid piece on the left side, an open piece, and then your two center ones you're going to leave open. And then the other side will have the wall that separates. I think I showed you guys that. Oh, where did I do with it? So, and then it has the door that opens, and then it has your solid pieces. Instructions are not hot. Like I said, these are your instructions, so this is why I decided to do this video. This is all of your instructions to build that entire unit. So, it's not been fun. This one that I had left with just one door, because that's about how far I'd gotten when I realized that I was fixing to mess up. So I'm going to put this solid door on this one. And then we'll get these stacked together. Because I was just building away and I wasn't, because the instructions weren't that clear. So I was just building all of the cages and not paying attention. Which, not their fault, but the instructions, there's no writing, and I hate instructions that don't have writing. Like, steps, people. I'm not just a picture person. all the noise. We've got those together. So when I start in one corner and I go down and around, and then I do the bottom section. So this is a cage with a solid side and then a gate. So I'm going to flip it on its side, and I don't know, this may get a little tricksy. We'll see what it does here. And then I have, this one is my open one, and we're just going to slide it right there. And we're going to hammer these guys. It should line up so these go in the holes, the same holes, but we'll find out. So I'm going to start in this upper corner like I was just telling you to do. Oh, that's why. I've got a shelf above me right here, and so that's what was stopping it. And then you're just going to kind of push that together, and then I'll come back and I'll hammer that. See if we can get that to go in there. So it's not in there all the way, but it's just enough that that corner is staying anchored. And I'm going to try to do the same thing here. Well, my anchor didn't last very well. But I'm almost tempted to go outside and get a clamp and see if I can clamp it together. Because I can't get that center section right there, I cannot get that to hammer together. So I'm going to flip it over and see if that works. But then you can't see if it's lined up or not. Okay, so find yourself a block, and that makes tapping that together not any better. The whole thing just came apart, so I don't even know what to do with this. Because being beyond frustrated is not a good place for me. So yeah, you're going to need a piece of block to hit this hard enough to get that to go together. And then it's still going to give you fits. Look, finally, I was totally expecting it to fall apart out of mine. And this is the feeder top out of my beehive feeder. It's fine. We're not going to talk about it. It was the only piece of wood I had near without going outside. And it's still not all the way together. Alright, so that's been a bear. I don't know that I can recommend these because putting this together has been a pain. I'm gonna flip it over. It's super light. I mean, I can pick it up. It doesn't weigh hardly anything. So I'm gonna see if I can get that to go together if I beat on it from this way. So there's still a gap here, and I'm struggling to get that to close. Alright, so we're back. My husband stepped in. He hates being on camera, so we blocked out part of the video. So we did finally get those together. We did have to use some pliers of varying sorts. He did have to help me. We may have to pause it so he can come back in and help me. But I did finally get that section back together. So there it is. And like I said, it's super light. I can pick it up with just a couple fingers. But it is finally all together. Yay!